Buffalo, New York band Joe Public came onto the music scene in the early 90s as part of the new Jack Swing explosion. They were noticeably different, however, in the sense that the members actually play their own instruments. The group consists of lead singer and bass guitarist Kevin "Kev" Scott, keyboardist and guitarist Joe "Jake" Carter, percussionist and drummer Dwight Wyatt, and lead guitarist Joe "Jr." Sayles. One of 8 children, Kev listened to every record he could get his hands on growing up, old and new. He started playing an older brother's guitar at age 7 and has been making music ever since. Dew got his start in music by practicing on the pots and pans in his house. Eventually, he was gifted some bongos. Jake was in a church choir and also played trumpet. He was about 12 when he joined a neighborhood band that Kev and Dew would also take part in. He never intended to make a career out of music, though. He had dreams of NBA stardom, but never grew to the ideal height. JR was always more interested in music than anything else. He started playing in his first band by the age of 10. The group originally began as 2 bands. Jake, Kev, and Dew got together in the 7th grade as part of a 15-member band. When they decided to really get serious about their music, they broke free of the other members. During this time, JR was in a separate group. When his band broke up, Kev, Dew, and Jake invited him to join them. They played proms, clubs, and parks under various names, including their last one, Attention. In 1987, the group participated in a local Battle of the Bands contest, where music executive Lionel Jobs saw them play. He knew the group had potential, but felt they needed refinement. The band worked on their craft at a loft in Buffalo, provided by Lionel, who then became their manager. Their diligent work helped them hone their writing skills and sharpen their musical abilities. 2 years later, they released the album Deaf on Arrival under the name Attention, which also featured 2 other members, bringing the total number to 6. They released 2 singles, Let Me Push It To Ya and Crazy About You, which were moderately successful on the R&B charts. After those other 2 members left, the band decided that they needed to do a name change. Since there were 2 Joes in the group, they joked around one night and came up with Joe Public. Public came about after they looked up the word in the dictionary and found that one definition was to serve the people. They all agreed that the name suited them. Joe Public then moved to New York City, where they put in 16-hour days in the rehearsal studio. Meanwhile, Lionel began playing their demo tape to major record companies. One day, he received an offer from Columbia Records. Their self-titled debut album was released on Columbia in 1992. It contained their hit single, Live and Learn, which became their only top 40 hit, peaking at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. The track made waves internationally as well, breaking top 10 charts in Belgium, Canada, and the Netherlands. In a 1992 interview with the Buffalo News, the band explained the message behind the song. We're trying to live what we say in that song, which is you have to learn from your own experience. We've seen a lot in the places where we grew up. There's a lot of bad things out there, like dope, that can destroy Black people and Black neighborhoods. We're not a message band, but Live and Learn is a message song. You've got to learn what's right and try to do it to help yourself. You can't be discouraged or think negative. The members of Joe Public can be proud to say that they play live music on their records and in performance. They've made a point of moving away from technology and drum machines back to live instruments. They also write and perform all their own material. We want to inspire young musicians to go out there and start playing their own instruments. I mean, when we started playing, people would come up to us and say, "Wow, you really play your own instruments." It's like nobody plays anymore. We want to change that. To us, everything starts with a song and a melody. That's what matters most. And to think they almost gave up hope of ever making it. At one point, they had no money at all and had to sleep on the floor. One thing they did have a lot of was the belief in themselves that they would make it. The band's follow-up single, I Miss You, didn't fare well on the Hot 100, but did become a top 10 R&B chart song. A few other singles were also released, barely touching any chart. MTV invited Joe Public to serve as performers and house band for the first ever MTV Unplugged R&B edition, starring Boyz II Men and Shanice Wilson. Joe Public was also the backup band for Criss Cross for their appearance on the Arsenio Hall show. They later released their second and last studio album to date, Easy Come, Easy Go, in 1994. It didn't make the album chart, nor did the title song and lead single do well. Joe Public then hosted the NBA Jam's music video, which was a VHS promotional release for the video game NBA Jam Tournament Edition. It contained music videos intercut with professional basketball highlight footage, including their hit, Live and Learn. After rapidly declining success, Joe Public ended up dissolving by 1995. Although the members would go on to write, produce, and arrange for numerous popular R&B and pop stars, such as Keith Sweat and Tyrese. Jake specifically formed his own production company and studio. In 2013, Joe Public was inducted into the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame. Joe actually thought the band was already in. When a friend of his was inducted the year before, he went and did some research. What he found was nothing, as in the band's name, despite its popularity, was nowhere to be found on the roster. So he quickly got to work on a nomination. The musician and songwriter, who first picked up the guitar after he received one as a Christmas gift from his mother, told the Niagara Gazette, "Honestly, I thought we were already in, but I was excited when I found out. To go into any Hall of Fame is an honor."